saying this morning?
Well, the Chronicle, that's what I have today, says Educhum convinces Parliament to accept reporting dates for SHS students. Lithium deal is very transparent. That's according to the Minerals Commission. NHC reaffirms Nana Boama Ayurupe II as Kweun Kwetia chief, and Goldfield sponsors awards for best farmers in catchment areas.
Daily Guide this morning: Galamsey Queen jailed 4.5 years, fined 48,000 Ghana cedis. Witchcraft wildlife bills violate constitution. And Akufo-Addo speaking. Agri sector turnaround strategy will work. Brian Echampon here. And OSP declares 6 wanted.
Okay, the Anchor newspaper says several bags of harvested rice left to rot over no buyers as farmers in Bulsa South cry for help. Western Regional Minister picks top tourism award, and over 130 cases ongoing in terms of Galamsey. Deputy AG reveals as Aisha Huang jailed, and there's an analysis on page 3 of the Anchor on who will be a suitable candidate to partner Dr. Baumia.
Republic Press: farmers honored in grand style, and Alan shakes Ashanti region with butterflies. We've created 2.1 million jobs since 2017. Dr. Baumia speaking. Ghana's cocoa will soon be rejected worldwide because of Galamsey. Here's a concerned chief. I will win 90% of votes in NPP Bekwai parliamentary primary, says Ralph Poku Eduse, and NPP Cavaliers hound OSP, accused special prosecutor of blackmail.
The Daybreak newspaper has a story concerning the Chief Justice and her decision to dismiss a judge, His Honor Alfred Kwabena Asiedu. And then there are other stories there. There's that analysis on the running mate for Dr. Baumia, school reopening justification, and the president explaining why he can't sign the witchcraft bill.
The final newspaper: Galamsey Kingpin Aisha Huang jailed 4 years, 6 months. Ghana signs $50 million emission reduction payment agreement. And here on a great government adopting smart tech solutions to reduce challenges hindering sustainable, resilient food systems. Dr. Brian Echampon speaking. SHS reopening day to restore pre-COVID-19 academic calendar. Dr. Educhum is speaking. And orphan constituencies: President commends NPP for successful parliamentary primaries.
The BNFT finally from me says BOG project sustained rebound in 2024. And then in other stories, 24-hour economy, a sectoral and transformative viewpoint. And it's a feature on page 5 of the BNFT.
Economy Times: IPP's kick against tariff reduction, says it threatens DDEP efforts, and BOG prepares to recapitalize.
Going online, citynewsroom.com, 24-hour economy must be prerequisite for electing next president. Austin Game says so. In labor stories, UG senior staff too threatened to strike over unpaid market premiums. Yeah. Government releases 20 million cedis to settle capitation grant, and easy to conduct assembly elections in Jasikan and Guan on December 19. Meanwhile, Sunon Asogli makes U-turn on shutdown, suspend decision for 1 week. We'll give you details of that story. And then in the NDC, Neil Ante van der Poel says only Michael Yaboy can retain Ododo seat for NDC.
Interesting.
So the whole issue is becoming interesting indeed. If you go to my Joe online, Aisha Huang was prosecuted for crimes committed in 2015 and 2017. This is Deputy AG. Meanwhile, Inus Afuseni says the verdict shows that we are not serious with Galamsey fight. And then delayed Afari Military Hospital contractors to complete project by March next year. And then former Environment Minister says it's dangerous to consume vegetables cultivated in illegal mining region. And then Professor Boateng also says Ghana is the only country with rivers without use. In talking about the effects of illegal mining. Star FM is talking about Sunon Asogli's announcement. Yeah. And then Cocoa Road contractors meet to re-strategize in pursuit of 4 billion CD cocoa debt. And then Mohammed's running mate on any day I'll settle for Nana Jane. This is Joyce Bawa Mokhtari. Okay. And then, of course, we know the big story. Aisha Huang jailed 4.5 years, fined 48,000 cedis. It's a serious matter. And then if you go to Class FM, they're also talking about the delegation to COP28. How can Ghana lead the delegation of 618? Haruna Idrisu quizzes. And then this Michael Yaboy issue is not going anywhere. With the DODO race, Michael Annan was still publicly associated with MPP after 2019. So this matter ain't going nowhere. Let's get into the details of the stories.
Bernard, Aisha Huang is here.
Yes.
Galamsey Kingpin Aisha Huang jailed 4 years, 6 months. The finder is reporting N Huang, aka Aisha Huang. A Galamsey Kingpin has been sentenced to 4 years, 6 months imprisonment by an Accra High Court. In addition, the court presided over by Justice Lydia Osei-Marfo also ordered Aisha to pay a total fine of 48,000 Ghana cedis. She is to be deported after serving her full sentence. The court handed down sentences and fines after he had found Aisha Huang guilty on 3 charges. She was charged with undertaking illegal mining without a license, facilitating the participation of persons to engage in mining operations, and illegal employment of foreign nationals. She had earlier pleaded guilty before the court on the charge of entering Ghana with while prohibited in all the state preferred 4 charges against her. Aisha was sentenced under the old law on illegal mining Act 900, which has the maximum sentence of 5 years. Under New Dispensations Act 995, the maximum sentence is 20-year imprisonment. So, Bernard, the explanation we are getting is that because she was being prosecuted under the old law, then the punishment.
Yeah, because the deputy AG says
prevails at the
that
time.
she was charged for crimes committed in 2015 and 2017 before the new law came into charge.
Exactly.
Okay.
Meanwhile, former Minister for Mining, former MP for Tamale Central, Anissa Fuseni, says the approach the country adopted in the fight against illegal mining shows that we are not determined to end it. According to him, the sentence handed to Aisha Huang shows the country is not serious about ending the menace. I think the Aisha Huang case and the conviction and sentence is another vivid demonstration of our lack of commitment in fighting this canker. The first arrest of Aisha Huang was under a legal regime that imposed or criminalized illegal mining and imposed a sentence that was higher than 4.5 years. He made these comments at the Joint News National Dialogue on Illegal Mining on December 4. Now, still on illegal mining, Professor Fipo Boateng has been speaking. He says Ghana is the only country with rivers without use. And he's a former chairman of IMSI, was speaking at the same program. And he says that illegal mining activities in the country have polluted most of the river bodies. According to him, the situation is so dire that canoes can't paddle on them for some water bodies. He also noted that speedboats are useless since they cannot function in polluted water bodies. And he also says it's dangerous to consume vegetables cultivated in illegal mining regions. So he was talking yesterday at the same event. He says that there's potential health risk associated with consuming vegetables cultivated in mining regions. He emphasized the importance of implementing phytoremediation as a means, as a good practice, urging the Minister of Agriculture to consider this approach.
Well, just staying with that, finally, the Deputy Attorney General, Alfred Tua Yeboah, has said that the government is on course prosecuting illegal mining cases numbering over 130. And he was speaking to the media after the High Court sentenced Aisha Huang yesterday. And the Deputy AG said there were more cases against Ghanaians and their Chinese counterparts.
All right. On page 5 of the Finder, SHS reopening day to restore pre-COVID-19 academic calendar. Dr. Duchum is speaking, and he says the Minister of Education, Dr. Yawase Duchum, has provided clarification on a decision to reopen senior high schools for first-year students on Monday, December the 4th. Speaking before Parliament, the minister explained that the move aimed to restore the academic calendar to its pre-COVID stage, with approximately 81% of students already placed in SHS. Dr. Osei Duchum highlighted that majority of first-year students had been automatically placed in SHS based on their choices, making the reopening on December 4 a viable option. He further outlined the harmonized prospectus as a critical factor in commencing the 2023-2024 academic year.
He was speaking in Parliament in response to the summon by the Speaker.
Yes.
And then he explained why they have to come back this week.
Yes. And leave after 2 weeks and a few days.
Yeah, so he didn't make a U-turn. He stuck to his guns. Yeah. But talking about U-turn, Sunona Sogli has made a U-turn. So last night they sent a press release that they were shutting down their power plants indefinitely until debts to the tune of about $60 million were paid. Now, Sunona Sogli supplies us with 560 megawatts of power. That's a lot. So about 10 minutes after the initial release came, we got another release from the same organization where they said they had suspended the shutdown of their plants. In fact, when I saw the post, my light went off.
Wow.
Yeah, so immediately the post came, like 2 minutes later, the light went off. Now, they then send a new release saying, in view of the intervention and assurance of the finance minister and the minister of state, they will they will sort of stand off the decision for 1 week.
Okay.
In a statement issued on Monday evening, it added, kindly confirm our understanding that we shall be paid an interim sum of $60 million in 2 tranches.
That's right.
The first tranche, $30 million, to be paid this week, and the second tranche in the week of December 11. This letter is addressed to the managing director of ECG, Electrovolta House. So basically, the power distributor is the one that has to know, because if Sudan Asogli, the generator, is not going to generate, he has to let ECG know.
Yeah.
Then ECG will do a load shedding. So this letter that the Sudan Asogli wrote to the ECG MD is addressed to the Minister of Energy, the Minister of State at the Ministry of Finance, Minister of Finance, and the Executive Secretary of PURC. It is signed by a man called Kun Yang, who's the chairman of Sudan
I can see.
Asogli. So now, just to give background, the IPPs earlier announced the indefinite shutdown of 560 megawatt plant, thus suspending its operations with immediate effect. The company said the decision was because government delayed in honoring its financial obligations to the management of the power plant. The company, in a letter addressed to ECG, cited by Citi News, in fact, not cited, copied to Citi News, said that Sudan Asogli announces with regret an indefinite suspension of operations at the Sudan Asogli power plant effective Monday, 4 December at 6 p.m.
Yeah.
This difficult decision became necessary due to avoidable delays in payment from the GOG. Later on, the matter was reversed.
But linked to that is the IPPs. They are kicking against the tariff reduction, and they are saying it threatens the DDEP efforts. Story by Adnan Adams Mohammed, Economy Times reporting, and it says the recent 1.52% electricity tariffs reduction announced by the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission (PURC) have been rejected by the Independent Power Producers (IPPs). The power producers describe the reduction as unacceptable, as they believe it will affect the debt restructuring dosage the government forced down the throat of the Electricity Company of Ghana (ECG), which has dire effect on the IPPs. Apparently, PURC has defended its position on the downward review of utility tariffs, attributing it to a number of factors. It highlighted the downward trends of inflation and a stable exchange rate as some of the factors that resulted in the 1.52%
I don't even see why
in the
this
electricity tariff.
For the past 4 quarters,
Yeah.
the PURC has been increasing the tariffs, particularly electricity, by close to about 12 or 15%.
This is only a reduction of 1.5.
So I don't even see why this is such a big issue with 1% reduction. It doesn't mean anything. You know? So the people have been increasing the thing consistently from 2022. Every quarter they increase. So this is not even a proper reduction. So let's talk about something else.
Well, if you go to page 3 of the Daybreak newspaper, the president has explained to Parliament that even though the contents of the Criminal Offences Amendment Bill 2022 or the Witchcraft Bill and the Armed Forces Amendment Bill 2023 have his support, he cannot assent to them because of constitutional issues. The president has explained that the way and manner the 2 bills were prepared flouted Article 108 or 108 of the 1992 Constitution, and he therefore could not assent to them due to the constitutional issues. And the Speaker of Parliament, he read the letter that came from the President to the House yesterday.
Now, still in that story, that paper, the CJ has fired a judge
for misconduct.
Misconduct. And it's very interesting. So the judge was sitting on a divorce case.
Oh, Charlie.
And while he was on the divorce case, he was also
interested
in one of the parties in the divorce case. The CJ, so just give me the details.
Yeah, so the CJ, Gertrude, her ladyship Gertrude Tokonu, has dismissed His Honor Alfred Kwabena Siedu, a judge, circuit court judge, with immediate effect for misconduct. Now, the judge, per complaint filed by one Singari Diana Sadia, dated 16 January 2023, was found guilty of the offense of abuse of power, sexual exploitation, and malicious prosecution. Now, the CJ, in a letter dated November 13, stated that the decision to remove the judge was reached by the DC of the Judicial Council. And the story goes on to, well, it didn't really give.
Well, we have the
proper
I don't even know why we have the full sort of statement, which outlines the man's offense. But as you rightly said, he was overseeing a case of divorce, and then the lady involved too, he was interested. So whilst he was divorcing the couple, he was also
advancing the territory.
He actually needs to be sent to court. So he was put through this my committee, and we need to commend the CJ for the swift action.
Bernard, Alan is shaking the Ashanti region. We understand the political landscape in the Ashanti region witnessed a dramatic shift with massive endorsements for the young but Vibrant Movement for Change, MFC, during the Afafranto Walk in Kumasi. It says the mind-blowing revolution, which saw thousands of known political industry players joining the MFC train, confirmed the class and sanity of Honorable Alan Chirmating, the founder of Movement for Change. This political wave, engineered by Honorable Alan Chirmating and characterized by its dominant yellow color, marked a significant departure from established norms in the region and is rapidly gaining momentum ahead of the 2024 general election.
So I think they were referring to a walk that they did with quite a number of people turning up. Now, I want to give you a cocoa story.
Yes.
Cocoa road contractors meet to re-strategize in purchase of 4 billion Ghana cocoa. But this story is on Star FM. It says the concerned cocoa road contractors in Ghana, CCRC, are set to convene an emergency meeting Wednesday, December 6th in Accra. The primary focus of which is to determine or to deliberate and re-strategize on addressing the persistent challenge of delayed payments amounting to 4 billion cedis debt by Cocoa Board. This urgent meeting follows numerous attempts by the contractors to seek resolution, including formal petitions submitted to Parliament as far back as March this year. Expressing concern about Cocoa Board's lax approach in settling interim certificates of work done, the contractors highlight the accumulation of a substantial debt over the past 3 years. And the details of the story are given. On August 8 last year, the contractors demanded prompt payment of the debt within a 21-day ultimatum, but the intervention of the Ghana Chamber of Contractors temporarily eased the situation. And then by December last year, only 5% to 10% of the outstanding debts were settled, and etc., etc., etc. So the Cocoa Road Contractors Association said they will meet to determine what to do. There was another cocoa story about Ghana's
cocoa will soon be rejected worldwide because of galamsey. This is coming from a chief story by Paul Duchier, the Nkoswohene of Anyomase Domiabra in the Ashanti region, who doubles as the CEO of Kuma Farms. Nana Kweku Sian has noted that the country's cocoa beans will soon be rejected globally due to galamsey activities. According to him, he feels sorry for the cocoa farmers in the country as he believes the polluted water cannot be used for farming or other irrigation activities. In addressing the challenges faced by farmers prior to the Farmers' Day celebration, he expressed his concern about the need to speak out against illegal mining as it will have serious repercussions on the country's agriculture.
Well, talking about that, page 2 of the Anchor newspaper says several bags of harvested rice left to rot. So farmers in Busa South are crying for help. And the story says rice farmers in the Busa South district in the Upper East region are in desperate need of buyers for several bags of harvested local rice that are being left to rot on the farm. Now, the situation the Anchor gathers has left major rice farmers in the area, including the chief of Bedembilisa, the owner of Bedembilisa Valley, frustrated over the development as they count their losses amid frantic efforts to find off-takers. Now, the story, or this was mentioned on the floor of Parliament by Dr. Clement Apaku's MP for Busa South, and he said that the chief and other rice farmers in the area had informed him they had reached an agreement with a company called Farmer Line to buy the rice. And it just goes on to state.
Yeah, but the company sent a release yesterday saying that they don't have any agreement with Busa rice farmers. Okay. So I saw the story. The company is also refuting allegation made by the MP, and basically Dr. Apak said in an article said that the chiefs hadn't had their rice bought because they were promised by the company to buy the rice and they had not bought it. But the Farmer Line company basically saying that they did not have any agreement with the farmers. According to them, the story by the MP is not correct. So that release, so both stories are actually on citynewsroom.com. Now, I wanted to just give another story quickly where the FABAG say they will push 20% sweetened beverage tax on consumers. So the Food and Beverage Association Ghana says it will transfer the 20% tax slapped on beverages to customers. FABAG has been advocating for the removal of the 20% excise tax imposed on soft drinks, spirits and water. The Excise Duty Amendment Bill, which is part of 3 tax bills passed by Parliament in April this year, imposed 20% tax on sweetened beverages and other products. The association says the taxes will negatively impact their businesses, which are already reeling under the economic conditions. In an interview with Citi News, General Secretary of FABAG, Samal Agri, said the government should find other means to generate revenue rather than overburdening businesses. So if you buy sweetened beverages, prepare to pay more.
But Dr. Baumia says we've created 2.1 million jobs since 2017. But before then, the military is asking the public not to panic but cooperate with them. What are they doing? Well, the Ghana Army has encouraged Ghanaians not to panic during its upcoming counter-terrorism exercise, but rather cooperate with the soldiers to ensure a smooth and successful exercise. Quote, the GFA therefore wishes to inform the general public not to panic but cooperate for a smooth and successful conduct of the exercise. This will be happening. The field exercise is scheduled between 4th and 7th December 2023, and this was announced in a press release signed by Lieutenant Colonel Alfred Mate on behalf of the Director General of the Department of Public Relations, Ghana Armed Forces. So you'll be seeing the military on the streets, in the field, and do not panic because it's a
Now,
situation.
there's an analysis of potential running mates for Dr. Baumia in the Anchor.
Yes, the Anchor newspaper has it, and the Daybreak newspaper also has it.
Is it the same story?
The same story. It's
Okay.
written by a gentleman named Muhammad Ali.
I see. Who is he rooting for?
Well, in the end, I don't know who he's supporting, but ultimately, at the end of his analysis, he singles out Dr. Matthew Poku Prempe
I
as
see.
the right choice.
Meanwhile, if you go on Star FM online, Dojba Mukhtari says on Mohammed's running mate, I will settle for Nana Jane any day. So the story says in a spirited show of endorsement, cousin and aide to former President Mahama, Dojba Mukhtari has described Professor Jina Mpokwa Jiman as the best fit person for the party's running mate slot.
Okay.
And then they list several names that came up. But speaking on Ultimate FM, she outlined a series of qualities that she believes should convince the party's flag bearer to pick Professor Jina Mpokwa Jiman to head into the presidential race. Final story from you before
I
we
will
move?
contest in the NPP parliamentary primaries for Dome Kwabenya. This is Michael Kwe Jr. speaking.
Okay.
So Michael Kwe Jr., the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Free Zones Authority, has disclosed that he will contest the Dome Kwabenya seat once again. He said when the governing New Patriotic Party opens nominations in January, he will pick up forms and contest. Quote, I want to inform the people of Dome Kwabenya through your medium that as soon as there is the opening for picking up forms and filing of nominations, I, Mike Okwe Jr., will stand to represent the people of Dom Kwabenya. So
Africa stories, death toll in Tanzania, landslides rises to 68. There's also a lot of flooding in the Zambia. And then there's a failed coup in Guinea-Bissau. All of this and more on the international front. Thank you, gentlemen. That was a newspaper review. Coming up